Oh man, Friday, October 10th, 2025. I am down 7.68%. Roth IRA down a little over 4.8. Pretty rough day overall for the market. The Nasdaq was down almost 3.5% today, but then it's down even more after hours. And even though I am no longer over 300K like I was earlier this week, I'm still happy about this drop because I think it's much needed and long overdue. But I don't think this is the end of this correction, cool off, whatever you want to call this. And the reason why I don't think this is the end of this cool off is because even with this big drop in Robinhood and basically every stock, unless you're Pepsi, people are still bullish. Like I saw people posting stuff like, I don't think we'll ever see Robinhood below 125 ever again, even though I think it's very possible that we see Robinhood back down in the 80s. I see people that are relatively newer investors from what it seems like, just from their posts and their videos and their opinions and whatnot. I'm not trying to throw insults or anything, but you can just tell once you've been in the market for a long time, whenever you come across a newer investor, you can just tell. But I still see people saying this is the dip, you need to buy. Robinhood will never see it below 125, we'll never see it below 100. You guys have to buy this stock, that stock, whatever. So I still think there's not enough fear yet, but who knows? Today I didn't really do a whole lot. I was just playing it cool today. But since today is Friday, we'll go ahead and take a look at the week. I am down a little over 6% for the week. For the month, I am now only up 8.77%. And the past 3 months, I am up almost 24.5%. Year to date is now barely 126. And year over year, let's see, 221%. All time is now 460. And just to show you guys my recent transactions, once again, I didn't do anything today. But if we take a look at my option positions, you'll notice that some of them did actually lose a decent amount of value. If we take a look at total return, keep in mind some of these contracts I did roll, so the P&L might not be 100% accurate, but the Robinhood covered call up at the top, I am now up $180 on that one. The one that I opened yesterday, I believe I am up almost $500 on that one. And of course, the Robinhood 175 strike, I'm up over 200 on that one. So I am happy that my option contracts are starting to lose their value. I'm starting to collect those premiums. So hopefully we just kind of hover around here or maybe go down even more going into next week and next month. And then I'll be able to cash these out at some pretty decent prices. That 155 strike up at the top is now only worth $80 to close out that contract. So I might consider that next week. Unless Robinhood just starts going back up again, which would be ridiculous. But like I said, I think there's a decent probability that we'll see Robinhood back down to $100 a share. And keep in mind, even if Robinhood goes all the way back down to $100 a share, it's still up tremendously when compared to where I was buying it at $10 a share. It's still a 10x stock, even if Robinhood were to drop all the way back down to $100, even though to people that were buying it in the 150s, 140s, 130s, dropping all the way back down to $100 or $80 a share would be pretty scary for you guys. Doesn't really affect me too much, even though it is my number one stock because I've got my covered calls. I bought it at super low prices. And to be honest, I was kind of getting bored of the whole everything just constantly going up, this whole bull market. Robinhood making new all-time highs every single day. I was just kind of getting bored of that. Honestly, the only stock right now that would even excite me if it started going up would be Nike, REPX, maybe SoFi, because SoFi, even though it is also up a lot too, it just hasn't really had that huge breakout like Robinhood has. Of course, Honest would also excite me a little bit. PayPal, yeah, it would excite me, but that stock it's done nothing for like 5 years now. So, I mean, that stock doesn't really excite me at all. But basically, I'm not really as excited anymore for these stocks like Robinhood, Palantir, to just constantly go up all the time. So I think this cool off was much needed, and I definitely think we'll see more of this. So today, Robinhood did enter a correction almost, down almost 10%. Nike down over 5%. Palantir down over 7%. Pepsi, the only green stock in my portfolio, up over 3% today. It also had decent earnings reaction. RPX is down over 3.8%. SoFi also in a correction, 10% down. Honest is down almost 2%. PayPal down over 8%. We have Nubank down over 3%. VFC down over 4%. Google about 2.5%. Kava down over 4.5%. Lemonade also in a correction as well. QQQ down over 4% today. Norwegian Cruise Line, same thing. So overall, stocks are getting hit pretty bad. And if any of you guys don't already follow me on my X account, I do post there, not a whole lot, but I do somewhat post regularly there, just whenever I think there's something interesting. But today we actually did have the worst day since April. And this is a chart from Shearwood, which is owned by Robinhood, I believe. So it was something interesting that I saw. And we also finally got my Robinhood Gold card delivered. And actually, when it came in the mail, the card wasn't even in its sleeve fully. So it was like sliding around in the envelope, which was kind of a buzzkill. So I didn't get that premium unboxing feeling. But it is what it is. I think the card overall looks good. It's like a pretty shiny premium feeling card, but I am happy about that. And of course, I saw this chart on Charter, which is also owned by Robinhood, I believe. This trend starting to shift away from hybrid and going back towards internal combustion engines. It was something interesting that I saw. And this, along with another headline of Russia targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure. So potentially we could see this trend back into fossil fuels and energy, and hopefully that helps stocks like REPX, which is a small cap energy play, a little bit riskier than some other bigger well-known energy companies, but it is the one that I picked for my portfolio. And I also did ask Vlad this question of when will Robinhood users be able to trade Race, which is Ferrari stock, which is still unanswered. But now we get to your guys' comments on my previous videos. And I didn't really get a whole lot from my last video posted up until now when I'm recording this one. But we do have Bunny and Rabbit asking for my opinion. Or actually, sorry, you weren't asking for my opinion. You're just telling me your opinion, which is to sell Honest and buy Wolf. Thank you later. I know Honest has been a disappointment lately. Definitely did not think it would come back into the $3 range, but I don't think Honest is a sell at this point. I actually think it's an okay buy. But trading Honest for Wolf stock, which is a Bitcoin mining company, I believe. Honestly, I don't really trust Bitcoin mining companies. I don't like the idea of a publicly traded company whose business relies on mining a digital asset that is also capped, right? And also relies on that asset consistently going up in price. I just don't really like that. I would much rather buy a company that sells shovels to the people chasing the gold rather than investing in companies that actually chase the gold, which is why, of course, I picked Robinhood over anything else like Bitcoin miners. Robinhood is a company that sells those shovels, right? It has that app. They have that well-known brand and image, right? They have an app that most people, I would say for the most part, most people are aware of. They at least have seen it on headlines, right, and news. And also that brokerage business model is just superior in my opinion. So I don't really like chasing Bitcoin mining stocks. I would much rather just hold my Honest shares, to be honest. And you also asked how much percentage am I up 3 months and 1 year, and I hope I answered that question earlier in this video. And of course we have not financial advice that says buy UNH. Everyone has to buy healthcare insurance. You will go bankrupt without it. My buddy pays $800 a month. If that's not bullish, I don't know what is. And speaking of healthcare insurance, the sirens are in the background, which is pretty good timing, but I might consider UNH maybe. There's just too many stocks to go around, too many stocks to pick, but definitely UNH is on the list.